over you. This is the greatest show. It's calling all the color lights. Impossible color true. It's taking over you. This is the greatest show.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is the greatest show, Save Space, right here on WURD Progressive Black Talk Media. How you doing, everybody? How you doing? I am none other than your favorite church girl, the one, the only Kayla J. And I'm excited to be back here with you today. I'm super excited about it, y'all, because it's election day. It's election day. Ow, ow. It's election day. Ow, ow. We're going to be talking all things election. So get that dialing finger ready because I want to hear about your election day. Did you go vote? How long did you have to stand in line? If you had to stand in line. And I have a question of the day that we're going to get to just a little bit later. But today, my frosty man is not here, but I'm excited to have JB on the boards of steel. Hey, Jordan, how you doing today?
Yo, what's going on, Kayla J? I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Listen, man, did you go vote today?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You sound a little hesitant. You lying to me, Jordan?
No, I'm not lying.
Oh, all right. All right. All right. Just making sure. Just making sure. That's awesome. And I had to ask you that, Jordan, because I know on the previous show I heard a caller say that the seniors was going to be the ones that's going out to vote today. And I just wanted to prove to him that listen, two young people went and voted today, two folks under the age of 30. So sir,
Yep.
if you're listening, I need you to know that the young people do care and we do our civic duty. All right. We do our civic duty. Other than election day, Jordan, how you feeling today? How you feeling?
Yeah, everything's good with myself. Yeah, can't complain. Just came back from vacation and I'm feeling pretty good as of right now.
Ooh, vacation. Listen, a vacation is needed for everybody. Anything special happened on the vacation? Were you in the sunny side of vacation or was it like fall weather where you were?
I wanted. It was more like a combination. So when I got to where I was at, it was pretty sunny, and then the next day it was raining pretty much all day.
Oh man, that
So
sounds
like
like
yeah,
Florida.
they call so like oh, I was in the Bay Area. So what they call
Gotcha.
is like they had like some sort of storm. They call it the bomb cyclone or what sort.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so like yeah, that lasted for about a day. But other than that, after that, it was pretty nice, like sunny pretty much every day.
That's awesome. I'm happy that you were able to get some sunshine in because it's
Facts.
been cold here. It's been cold. Welcome to the East Coast. Welcome back to the East Coast, Jordan. Welcome back to the East
Yeah,
Coast, sir.
appreciate it. Trying to get used to this cold weather, but hey, it
Yeah,
is what it is.
it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm not one that's for the cold weather. I love fall and spring. It's like that perfect in between weather for me. So it's been a shock for everybody. But Jordan, thank you so much for being here tonight on Safe Space. As you guys call in, show some love to JB. He's gonna be handling all things behind the scenes today. All right. Well, the time has come, everybody. So I need you to tell a friend and tell them to text two friends and let them to tell them to text five more friends and let them know Kayla J is on the radio and it's time to save space. Word, word. Today is Tuesday, November the 2nd. And again, that means it's election day. Did you get up and vote today? Did you? Did you get up and vote today? I was number 9 at my polling place, and today I was just a little sad because I voted after 10 a.m., just a little bit after 10 a.m., not too much, but just a little bit after 10 a.m. And when I went to vote, for them to say I was number 9, I was like, oh my God, this race is too important, y'all. This race is too important. Everyone needs to vote. Every election is important. Let me stress that every election is important and we need to vote every single time. But this election is super important. We got our judges running right now, and we have our DA and the controller. Listen, you listening? That's important. So, if you have not voted yet, listen to me good. You have another hour that you can get to vote. Be in line by 8 p.m. If you're in line by 8 p.m., they will let you vote. Polls close here in Philadelphia at 8 p.m. And if you're in Montgomery County, they have extended the poll time at four locations until 9 o'clock, being that they were not able to open on time this morning due to some technical issues. So if you're out in Montgomery County, there are four locations. So please check your location and see if you are one of the people who can vote until 9 p.m. But in Philadelphia County, our polls close at 8. As long as you are in line by 8 p.m., they have to let you in. They have to let you in. So make sure you get out there and vote. If you have not voted, download our Word app now, right? Start playing it, get in your car or start walking to your polling place, listen to us in line and let us know exactly how the the voting line is going, all right? Let us know, let us know, let us know. But again, I said this race is very important for the fact that our DA is running, DA Larry Krasner, and he believes he's going to win. It looks like he's going to win. He has an overwhelming support in the West Philadelphia area. And I want to know what's something that you would like to see Krasner do differently if he wins a second term. 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900. DA Krasner um, has been doing a good job so far. He's been doing a good job, but there's always room for improvement. There's in everything that we do, there's always room for improvement. So, Word fam, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. What would you like to see DA Krasner do differently in this next term if he wins the election? I want you to know. I want to know. I want to know. 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900. Come on, call me now and let me know how your election day has been. Did you go to the polls today? What was your number? I was number 9. Hopefully, we have some number ones out there. I would love to know if anybody was number one at their polls today. But let me know, what number were you? Where how was the polling looking in your places? Was there long lines? Were there short lines? Were there no lines? Were people excited about voting? Did people know today was even an election? Come on, let me know. Let me know. But the question on the table is, it looks like DA Krasner is going to win this thing in this second term. What would you like to see him do differently? I know that a lot of people have been looking at the gun violence, so I would really love for him to be able to figure out a plan for that. I know a lot of folks are looking at his incarceration rate. I would like for him to address that. So what would you like to see DA Krasner do? You said, Kayla, I hear you, and I want to participate tonight. However, I cannot call you because I may be helping at a polling place right now. Listen, you can hit me up on social media at Kayla J underscore music nerd. That's KALAJ underscore music nerd. Or you can hit us up in the comment section of our Word TV video in our Facebook Live feed. So tell me now, 215-634-8065, or comment below, or hit me up at Kayla J underscore music nerd. That's KALAJ underscore music nerd. I see some folks hitting me up in the comment section already. Joey Dixon says, peace, jazz to you, and vote. That's right, Joey. Thank you. Peace, jazz, that vote. And Lily says, evening, Kayla J and Word family and friends. Good evening to you, Miss Lily. Thank you all for joining me tonight on Save Space. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Safe Space. Be sure to like and share this experience because we want to know. We want to know what's going on in these streets, these Philadelphia streets, these Montgomery streets, these Delaware Valley streets, these New Jersey streets. Come on, Jersey, hit me up. How is the election going? Is Governor Murphy? I mean, yeah. Is Murphy going? Mayor Murphy going to win this thing? I'm trying. I've been looking, and it's looked like it's just a little bit on the rocks. So I need to know. I'm not a Jersey resident, but I surely am looking at those races. We have tight race, it looks like, in Berks County for the school board. So if anybody is listening from Berks, please call in and let us know how that school board election is looking. I know that's something that I really wish Philly would tag into, our school board elections, and at least just get a school board, an elected school board, should I say that? uh, so let us know 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900. Shalada, thank you for tuning in. She says, good evening, blessing, Sister Kayla J, producer, beloved Lomax family, and word members. I appreciate you listening. Anita West says, hey, Kayla J. Hello, Anita. Thank you so much for tuning in. Going straight to the phone lines, you too can be a caller. Bobby from Southwest Philly. Hello, welcome to the show. Happy Election Day.
Thank you, Kayla J. Kayla, what's
Yes.
the J for?
The J is for all that jazz.
All right now. Okay. Okay. I want to, that's cute, baby. That's very cute. I like it. But anyway, as the election, of course, I went to the poll. And whenever
Yeah.
I go, it's not crowded. Well, only one time, which was nice to see. But anyway, when I got there, I went through the door, and they were telling me your name is not on the list, right? And I was like,
Mm.
I caught my breath. I was like, what? And it's like we can't find your name. But what happened was I went through the wrong door. I should have went through a side door.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kept saying, well, I couldn't think of the name of it, but if your name is not there, you can do a write-in, that write-in thing. And I kept asking for one of those sheets, and they didn't have it. But I was calling this wrong thing. I forgot the name of what you're supposed to ask it, but you gives you a right to vote. But
The
anyway,
writing ballot.
it was nice. I want to say to Word, thank you for giving me that education, because I honestly did not know who to vote for. I knew the kind of people I wanted to vote for, but I didn't know, like if they were Democrat or Republican. But I was well educated by Word, because they said go straight Democrat, and that's exactly, I followed the instructions, and I'm so glad I did. And thank you so much, baby.
Miss Bobby, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for doing your duty and going out there and voting today. I appreciate you. All
Thank you,
right,
baby.
staying in Southwest Philly, we got Maurice. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show and happy Election Day.
Hello, Queen, and happy right back at you.
Yes, happy
Now, you know
Election
we're
Day.
only going to have in the 20% of voting, and I'm going to tell you why.
Tell me why.
Our elected officials that's already in office, not one of them campaigned about we having to do election. If you heard any of the commercials on URD, they were from two guys who were former politicians, which is Mayor Street and Congressman Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the guys had to told you to vote straight Democratic, but you know why they told you to vote straight Democratic? Because we might only have anywhere from 9 to 11 black officials that's in this election, but most of them are white, which is 39. To
Mm.
bring across the white ones on this station. That's why they say vote straight Democratic. To bring them over the finish line, because most of us have no idea who they are or what they standing for.
Got you.
We got to be smart on these elections. I
Yeah, we
believe I've
do.
been voting every election since 1978. I haven't missed one. I'm all for voting. But you also got to look at the people that don't see any changes, don't see anything done for them. If they go outside in their community, they see no improvement. You got to give them a break and not always be so hard on them when they say they don't want to vote or they don't know when the election is because their own so-called black politicians are not informing them and keeping them alert on situations. They don't see any kind of improvement. They don't see their life getting better. They don't see things happening in their direction. There's no affordable housing. There's terrible streets. There's crime and mayhem. There's
Mm-hmm.
no employment and only 2% black business. This is before COVID. So when I hear these people telling people that they need to vote like their life depended on it, well, that's what they want to do. But when they do vote like their life depended on it, the next day or the next election, they don't see no improvement. I'm out here in Southwest. And right now, we have no trash cans on the street. We have terrible streets. We have no affordable housing. The houses that you used to go buy next to you that will be in the same range as your house now is $100,000 more because of gentrification. These are the things that Black people go through, and we got to find another way to make Black people feel like voting is special when they start seeing. I heard somebody say, "Well, you stand in line to get them $200 sneakers, or you stand in line to get a phone." Yeah, I understand that stuff is simple, but guess what? When you stand in line, at least you get something. But when we stand in line, what do we get? I'd like you to answer that, and I'll listen.
Got you. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling, Maurice. Thank you for listening. And of course, thank you for voting. When we stand in line, what do we get? Sometimes we do get change. Sometimes we don't. When we stand in line, what do we get? We get our voices heard. Rather they act on what they heard or not is not our issue. But the fact that we stand in line for these elections, the fact that we stand in lines at these protests is showing them that our voices will be heard. It's showing that we are a community and we will rally together. For instance, I don't know if you were listening last night. I'm going to assume that you were because you're faithful. But those students at Howard, they're standing. They're being heard. They may not have gotten what they wanted yet from their president of Howard. However, their voices are being heard all across this nation. So you asked, what do we get when we stand in line? We get a lot. We get a lot because our voices are being heard no matter what. That's what we get. 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900. Those are the numbers that you need to call to let me know how your election day is faring out. My question on the table is, if D.A. Krasner gets back in Philly, what would you like to see him do differently? What would you like him to do differently? I appreciate Eddie chiming in on Word TV. He said that the New Jersey governor's race, the most pressing issue in this race is the increasing property tax. Listen, I believe they can agree with that right here in Pennsylvania as well, but that is what's pressing over there in New Jersey. Thank you for tuning in. Jersey, Bucks County, Delaware County, Montgomery County, Philadelphia. Let me know, how are things faring out in your neck of the woods? What is this election looking like? I know we're voting for a few different things here in Philadelphia. We're voting for, in Pennsylvania, we're voting for judges. Here in Philadelphia, we're voting for our DA and the controller. Over in Jersey, they're voting for governor. Over in Bucks, they're voting for a school board. Also in Montgomery County, they're voting for a DA. So let us know, how are these things faring out? Let us know. 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900. I want to hear from you. What is your voter story today? I'm Kayla J. You're listening to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. This is Safe Space, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Break out the late night fun and the plans that came out of nowhere. Break out everyone's favorite hangout snacks. Break out the chips that Philly has turned to for over 75 years. Because when it's time to truly live it up and absolutely get down, it's time to break out the Hers. Stock up on classics like Hers Crisp and Tasty, Sour Cream and Onion, and Barbecue. So you can be ready to break out the good times, the fun times, the best times. Break out the Hers.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit. and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Stay connected on the go with the new and improved Word Radio app. Search Word Radio to find it on your app store. Stream every show with increased clarity. Easily access Word TV, EcoWord, and Livelihood. Start or renew your Word membership and buy Word swag. Remember, Black Media matters. Get the new and improved Word Radio app today. Available on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Save space on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Listen, y'all, do something make me feel better up in here. This is your boy, Mr. Sip, sending a message out to the world. I need everybody to get out and go vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. Be heard, yo. Hit me! Oh. Can I do it? Can I do it? Get up! Everybody, go out and be heard. Get up! Everybody, lift your voice and be heard. Come on, everybody, get in your car and go vote. Don't you complain about anything if you don't get out and vote. Oh, let your voice, let it be heard now. Make a decision. Go vote. Mail it in or do it in person. Whatever you do, go vote. Just find the time in your busy schedules. Get up and go vote. Be the change. Everybody get up and go vote. Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida, go vote. Chicago, even California, North Carolina, South Carolina, go vote. Tennessee, even Virginia, Ohio, New York, go vote. This is a message from the Teen Temptation. Get up, go vote. This is a message from the Teen Temptation. Get up, everybody go vote. This is a message from the Teen Temptation. Get up, go vote.
You heard it right. Get up and go vote. That's what the song said. Get up, ha, don't, and go vote. Get up and go vote right now. You have until 8 p.m. to get your vote in. If you had a mail-in ballot, please turn it in by 8 o'clock. That does not mean put it in your mailbox by 8 o'clock. That means take it to the County Board of Election and go put it in their mailbox by 8 p.m. today. Please, 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 everybody, please get up and go vote. This election is of most importance. All right. You're listening to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I am none other than the one and only Kayla J. And this show right here is called Save Space. This Thanksgiving holiday, Thursday, November 25th, we are giving thanks to our members. We're giving thanks for our members, and we're giving you all, our members, a chance to program the music for the day. While friends and family gather for dinner, we will play music chosen by you. Yeah, our word members. We're going to play your playlist, not my playlist, not Frosty's, but your playlist. To submit your song request, please fill out the form attached to our newsletter. You have until Friday, November the 5th. That's this Friday. You have until Friday, November the 5th to submit your song request. If you are not a Word member, join today. Just go to word.com and type in membership or call 215-425-7875. All right. We have another caller on the line, George, Center City. Hey, man, welcome to the show. Happy Election Day.
And you know what? I'm glad you're on. I mean, you don't know how it really makes me feel good to hear somebody who understands what two-way talk is and talk radio, especially black media and serving the black community. You know, it's the voice of the African American community, and you are the voice. You know, and
thank you.
we was joking today on the campaign trail. And we was talking. Well, they was up there with relishes, and they were saying, you know, some of these stations you listen to, it's like some of the hosts take about maybe 50 antidepressant pills a day, you know, and then come on the air. I say, well, Kayla J ain't one, and MJ ain't one, and I say, if you go down the dial, there's a whole lot of them on that one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get a chance to, you know, during your period, I would like you to look into the thing about Black Lives Matter. How many black chapters are there that are successful? Because if you look the whole thing, like a couple hosts did, and found out that it's a lot of big, major white companies that have Black Lives Matters chapters. Yeah. And when all this protesting was going on and everything, everybody was wondering how all these buses and all these hotels and all this stuff was being paid for. You know, they were coming in these different cities in luxury line buses, you know, staying in the best of hotels. Like they was down there on Delaware Avenue at the Hilton. They had filled that whole place up. So, you know, when we keep talking about, you know, what we're going to do, like this election, take this election. It's senior citizens, elderly people over, I say, 35 and up is the ones going to pull this election through. They keep saying young people this and young people that. In
George,
the political world, if you don't vote, you don't count. Period. That's just
George.
What it is, Kevin. Yes.
George, I gotta stop you there because I'm under 30. My producer tonight, JB, he under 30. We went and voted today, and I know a lot of folks under 30 that went and voted.
Well,
so I hear you. I hear you. Say that again.
And you know what? I appreciate y'all voting. That means that y'all are the ones who are more wiser, who had people to teach you and brought you along the value of voting. But most of the younger people today don't understand. They tell you real quick, I ain't voting. It don't mean nothing. Yeah, till you go before one of those nasty judges, then it matters. Then you want somebody to do something for you. So I respect and love those young ones who do vote. But the point is, we need to stop having people talk about like they're in control of something instead of like teaching them, listen, the importance of voting is this. And stop pacifying them like, you know, oh, please, this, that. Listen, elected officials feel this way here. The less you vote, the more chance I got of getting in there. You know, because they got a core of people that's going to vote for them no matter what. So, you know, then you get these pop-up wannabe community activists or these pop-up know so much and say so much and don't know anything about politics, think that it works the way that they think it works and say. It doesn't. And you've been around long enough to hear what goes on, to see that it doesn't work like what they think. That's why they can't never get an office. First of all, you got to have money and support. They think that they can get in there just because they have an idea. You know how many people have ideas? Most people wake up in the morning and have an idea. And the ones who don't wake up, that means that, you know, they got an idea somewhere else. They don't even have an idea where they're going. So their ideas don't mean anything. Kayla, I'm glad you're on, dear, and you're doing a wonderful job. And I hope that, pray that we keep hearing you because, like I say, at least you understand what talk radio is about. It's called two-way talk, and you're the voice of the African American community, and I appreciate and love it. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, George. Thank you for calling. Always thank you for listening and your contribution. I hear what you're saying, but I do just have to double down and say, but that our young people, they are out here. There are some that do not understand the importance of voting. And that's what my two next guests are going to talk about, why this is important, why we need to share. But as Anita and Shirley said over here on our Facebook live feed, we need to do a better job at educating the people on who's running in these elections. That is true. We don't hear enough. The most we see are these dogma commercials. But that's it. We need to get some real education, some real literature, and not nothing you just gonna stuff in my mailbox saying vote for me. I want change. That's we need a little bit more than that. I feel like they need to hold a little more forums, hold a little more debates, and hold some town halls for candidates. That's just something that I feel. We're talking of the election today, you guys. It's election day here in PA and Jersey and in some other cities and other states. Listen, I want to know, how's your election day faring out? For those of you in Philadelphia County, it looks like DA Krasner is going to get a second term. So I want to know. I want to know, what would you like to see differently from DA Krasner with this second term? What would you like to see differently? And I'm super excited to welcome my first two guests of the evening, two amazing women who is going to sit down and we're going to talk this thing out. We're going to talk about why the election is important. We're going to talk about these judges, and about some black women that are even on the ballot too. So please help me welcome Jasmine Sessoms of She Can Win, as well as Latasha D. Mays of New Voices for Reproductive Justice. Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good evening, Kayla J.
Good.
Hey, Tosh, why ain't you got your camera on?
Because I'm out here in these streets. That's why.
You in these election streets.
They are working. They are hardworking people. When I realized I had to do election night, I said, "Listen, I need some heavy hitters." So I'm so happy that you all decided to join me tonight. Thank you again. So let's get into it. What's happening in these election streets today?
Tosh, you could go first.
She always throw me under the bus. Hey, everyone. Hello to all of the WURD radio listeners. Kayla J., thank you for having us on tonight. I'm Latasha D. Mays, President and CEO of New Voices for Reproductive Justice. And we have been rocking our Voice Your Vote project going back to 2014. We operate this nonpartisan voter program in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. And so there are lots of big races happening in Pennsylvania and Ohio tonight. And of course, in the city of Philadelphia. So it's all. I want to start by saying that every single election is important, although we may not think that or feel that. Every single solitary election impacts Black people, Black communities, Black families, Black children, everybody. And so it's important for us to always flex that power in every single election, including what is often called an off-year election or a municipal election. And so that is what we are experiencing today. I love election day. General elections are really, sometimes they hits and sometimes they're misses. And a lot of times in this off year, it's a hit. But, folks are still coming out to the polls with COVID-19 abating, people being vaccinated. Black people, we like to go to the polls, and we wasn't really checking for the mail-in ballot situation last year, but we also understood that was a viable option for us too. But people, we like to go to the polls, and that does make a difference. And so, it's been slow going today. I'm actually in Pittsburgh on the ground for we have a big election here where we may be electing the first Black mayor of Pittsburgh, and so I had to be in the building for that. But the judges' races at all levels are happening, from Supreme Court, Superior Court, Commonwealth Court at the statewide level. But then you also have in at least Allegheny County, the Court of Common Pleas, same in Philadelphia, as well as your municipal courts are those races are happening today. So that's kind of the rundown. A lot of women in the race, a lot of Black women in the race, almost at every level. And so it'll be interesting to see what the turnout is today.
Yeah, that's awesome. I forgot about your election there for the first Black mayor in Pittsburgh. How is the turnout for that?
We're going to see. I mean, it's looking like it will happen. But you can't. Is it 8 o'clock yet? It's not 8 o'clock yet. So we still
20 more
have
minutes.
about 20 minutes for those. As my one colleague in Ohio says, Johnny come late, least. So, the polls will close in about 20 minutes. But it is looking promising, but we will see.
Awesome. Jazz, what's happening out in these Philly streets?
What? Tosh done took everything. I want a different question. There's nothing left for him to say. She done took my black woman's bill. She done took all my row offices. I mean, in Philly, let me see. We were out here voting like black women early and often. The turnout has been low thus far. It has been low. I do roving. And roving is when you can check the numbers at each of the polling sites. And what I did not see a good collective, which is very disappointing after such a high turnout year last year. And Tosh said, there is no off year. It's just a lack of education. People do not grasp how important a district attorney is. People do not grasp how important these judges are at all levels. And that is something that we as black people, we as a community need to work on. We need to ensure that not just bring your girlfriend and your mamas and your sisters and your brothers to the polls, but also begin to educate them on what these offices mean. Because I can't tell you how many of my girlfriends be like, girl, just tell me who to vote for. I'd be like, well, do you want any background? Girl, if you voting for him, I'm voting for him too. No, but we, what I mean, all day long today. And because you have these trusted people in your life, like for me, at any moment, if somebody be like, Jasmine, do you know such and such? Before I even tell them yay, nay, I'd be like, do you know what she's running for? And if you say no, you're getting a whole book and a text message, because it is our responsibility as those of us that are informed to educate others. And if people truly grasp, the masses grasp what these judges do day in and day out, the decisions, the life-changing decisions, it would be a presidential year right now.
I completely agree with you. Ladies, we have to take a quick commercial break, but I want you to think about this and on the other side answer it. What can we do to help inform our voters? What can we do to make sure that we have well-informed voters? I'm Kayla J. You are listening to Safe Space right here on WURD Progressive Black Talk Media. It's election night here in the city of Philadelphia and in other areas and other states. Shout out to everybody that has got up and voted so far. If you have not, you have 20 more minutes. If you're in Montgomery County of Pennsylvania, you have an hour and 20 minutes at certain polling places, for they have extended the time to 9 o'clock. All right. Keep it locked right here on WURD. We will be right back after this commercial break.
Family members, friends, co-workers, neighbors. Someone you know is impacted by the opioid epidemic, and its toll on our communities is even greater due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Independence Blue Cross Foundation's Someone You Know campaign is reducing the stigma around opioid use disorder and inspiring hope and recovery. Visit the Someone You Know website to hear personal stories of resilience and to connect to treatment and recovery resources. Subscribe to the Someone You Know podcast on your favorite platform for diverse and empowering conversations that show recovery is possible. And continue the discussion on social media using hashtag SYKOpioids. October is National Substance Abuse Prevention Month. Join the Independence Blue Cross Foundation in spreading awareness, fighting stigma, and inspiring hope. Learn more and get help now at ibxfoundation.org/SYK.
Comcast has built a broadband network with one simple purpose: to keep customers connected every single day. In the last 10 years, we have invested $30 billion and $15 billion since 2017 alone to keep America's largest gig-speed broadband network fast, secure, and reliable. Because more Americans rely on Comcast to stay connected, we work around the clock to build a better network every single day. Comcast. Better today, even better tomorrow. Learn more at comcast.com/network.
Wake up and text. text, and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Join Word Radio Thursday, November 4th at Spectrum Health, located at 5201 Haverford Avenue, for our Sassy Seniors event, honoring our seniors who are still active. Word Radio will bring community resources during open enrollment for the Affordable Care Act, making sure seniors are in the know of what services are offered to them. Every Thursday during The Source, Andrea Lawful Sanders will be hosting live from various sites across the city beginning November 4th at Spectrum Health. Word Radio is creating a space important for Philadelphia's African American community to gain information and, more importantly, ask questions from the insurance and senior service community about the best options for their healthcare as they get older. Join us Thursday, November 4th at 52nd and Haverford Avenue. Be sure to wear your mask. Sassy Seniors is brought to you by Pico, Comcast, Keystone First, and exclusive home care agency, Always Best Care. Save Space on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Black Media.
Take whatever they want and do whatever they do. So can I find somebody, anybody with big love integrity? So can I make a change in the world? It's full of greed up. Oh my. Can't find it in stores, cause it comes from the soul. Said I don't need much of anything, no. Don't take much to please, cause I've already got everything, yeah. That's enough for me. Said not a house, not a car, no material things, no, no. Said I've already got everything, yeah. So why you got to stoop so low?
Everything Sam Henshaw right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I'm Kayla J, and this is Safe Space. We're chatting it up with Latasha D. Mays as well as Jasmine Sessoms. We're talking about this election. Today is election day. Happy election day, everybody. Happy election day. Did you get out and vote? How was the poll turnout where you are? What number were you when you went and voted? I was number 9. How about you? 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900. Right before the break, you both were just talking about why this election is important, and I saw in our comment section that people were saying that for election like these on the off years, even though there's election basically every year, we need a little more education. So what do you think we all can do to stay educated about what's happening? I'm gonna start with Jasmine since Latasha went first last time.
So for me, and I've seen it in action. I think for me, it has to start so early, right? There is no reason why we are not teaching voting and civics in lower school, right? I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I went to a public school. I didn't talk about voting, civics. You know, you had American history, but not civics. They didn't teach you that in lower school or middle school. I think I learned that maybe in high school. I have a 5-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old daughter. Do you know that, I mean, I take my babies to go and vote, so my babies are informed, but there was an election today at their school. My 5-year-old is now practicing voting, not just with me, but in her school. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that is an ingrained thought now in my 5 and my 7-year-old of, oh, there's an election, because not only is she getting it at home, but then she's getting it at school. I truly believe that if we could find a way to integrate this into curriculums and really start teaching people the importance of election, importance of exercising your democratic right, that we would have these different turnouts. And it's not an easy fix, right? But that's why elections are important, because guess who could help us? Our elected officials that we have to vote for. it is just so vital. We have to get that done.
I completely agree. Natasha?
One of the things that I have found effective in our work at New Voices and our Voice Your Vote project is we hire people from the communities we are educating and mobilize voters in. So it could be your family member, your neighbor from up the street. Young people have been important to us, especially in Philly, to employ year round with our Voice Your Vote project. Folks who are on the margins. We have a lot of returning citizens who also work on our Voice Your Vote project because, and the people we employ are experiencing so many issues in their community. We know all the issues that are impacting Philadelphia, but for me, it seems like employment and hands-on experience with voting and voting engagement, protecting voting rights, talking to voters, mainly Black women voters in Philadelphia and Delaware County, and also across the state. They're having those kinds of experiences and leadership opportunities within a voting context. So that has helped. And also using technology and meeting people of all ages where they are. And so we definitely will be employing more technology, digital organizing, as in social media, to reach folks who are what we call low propensity voters. That means that they either are unlikely or not likely to vote. And so that's where we focus. We don't focus on super voters. We focus on what is called the hard to reach voters. And that's been the impact of our work. And that's where we've situated ourselves.
Awesome. I know that there were some females on the ballot, especially over in our judge races. So can either one of y'all just highlight some of the amazing women that were on this ballot this today?
That's all you, Jasmine.
You want to know the Black women on the ballot?
Yes, let us know who the Black women were on the ballot, because you still got 10 minutes out here.
You still got 10 minutes out here. Okay, so you had Lori Dumas running for Commonwealth Court. That's statewide. So whether you're in Philly or Pittsburgh, you can vote for Lori Dumas. You had Tamika Lane running for Superior Court. Again, another statewide. You have Maria McLaughlin. She was running for Supreme Court. And so Maria is not the Black woman, but she is a woman, and she has been a good ally for Black women. In Philly, there were quite a few. Off the top of my head, Monica Gibbs, Katera McCabe, and Tosh out there. If you're in Montgomery County, you should vote for Nicole Phillips. She's amazing. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Also running for a judge. So we have some amazing Black women running out there. So if you, what do you got? 8 minutes. Vote for a Black woman today.
There we go. You got 8 minutes. You got 8 minutes. Out in Montgomery County, you got a whole hour and 8 minutes. All right.
And also, if you
before I let you say that again.
Sorry, if you have a mail-in ballot, you can drop it off before 8 o'clock as well at the County Board of Election. Normally there's like a drop box, but you got to get that in before the polls close tonight. I just wanted to make that point.
That's a good point. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that tidbit. Before I let you guys go, let the people know how they can continue to follow all the work that you both do in your respective organizations. We'll start with Latasha and end with Jasmine.
Well, you can follow New Voices everywhere at New Voices RJ, and text us. You can text us directly. We'll text you back 267-710-8319. And that was a way we were really able to reach a lot of Black women in the Philadelphia community, actually Black and brown women in the Philadelphia community when we were doing our COVID-19 relief and our diaper drives, diaper distributions that we were doing, and we'll continue to do as we continue to raise resources for it. So definitely text us, and you can always visit us at newvoicesrj.org.
And She Can Win, you can find us everywhere all handles at She Can Win Now. Don't text us though, because we probably won't text back. But you can always DM us, and all jokes aside, we're going to keep doing the work. We're going to keep voting like Black women. We're going to keep getting Black women elected that you can vote for. And we're going to keep doing our thing and really supporting other Black women-led organizations.
Awesome. Jasmine, Latasha, thank you so much for joining me here on election night and giving us a little more information about how we can stay educated and letting them people know who got 5 more minutes, which Black people are on the ballot today. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you for having us, Kayla. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Have a good night. All right, folks, I'm Kayla J. This is Safe Space right here, the election night edition of Safe Space. Did you go out and vote today? Did you? If you did not, you have 5 minutes to get yourself to the poll. If you are in line in 5 minutes, you will be able to vote. So hurry. Get to your polling place right now. Okay? Get there right now so your voice can be heard. Tyrone, Anita, Miss Roslyn, I see you on the line. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I'm coming to your calls. So please sit tight. Don't hang up on me. I'm coming right back to you after this commercial break. This is Safe Space. I'm Kayla J. We'll be right back.
Football season is here. Stock up with Dietz & Watson, your official tailgate partner. Fuel up for the big game with a delicious Dietz & Watson sandwich spread and enjoy endless combinations of fresh sliced deli meats and cheeses in a variety of bold flavors, guaranteed to spice up game day. And don't forget to fire up the grill with perfectly smoked premium franks and sausages. There's something for everyone in the family. Head to DietzandWatson.com to find a local retailer near you. Dietz & Watson. It's a family thing. Premium meats and artisan cheeses since 1939.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
This Giving Thanks holiday, Thursday, November 25th, we are giving thanks to our members by giving them a chance to program the music for the day. While friends and family gather for dinner, we'll play music chosen by 4-word members. To submit your song request, fill out the form attached to our newsletter. You have until Friday, November 5th to submit your song requests. If you're not a member, start or renew your membership today at wordradio.com or call 215-425-7875 and you'll have the opportunity to submit your song request. This is Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media. Grab your mic. It's time for Kayla J's Karaoke Song of the Day.
You are now rocking with DJ 215.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. dancing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise, got me running to my heart, I guess I got no choice. You made me happy. Yes, you can dance. You stood right beside me, and I won't forget. And I really love you. Should know. I'm gonna make sure Come ahead and talk to my daddy. Say, sitting ain't nothing. You down on the and it's sure be changing way. Lead up, the vibe like a reminisce. Love it. Come ahead and start with a little kiss like this. That number, another summer. Sound of the funky drummer. Music hitting your heart, cause I know you got soul. Hey, listen if you're missing, y'all. Swinging while I'm singing. Hey, giving what you're getting. Knowing what I knowin'. While the black band sweating. In the rhythm I'm rolling. Gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey, our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. 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 We got to fight the powers that be.
Fancy track.
It's a candy. I can feel it when you walk. Even when you talk, it takes over me. Yes, I'm candy. I wanna know, can you feel it too? Just like I do. This stuff is starting now. It's the same feeling I always seem to get around. There's no mistaking, I'm really taken by that simple gift of you. Oh.
DJ 215.
DJ 215 in the building, providing us our nightly mixes. Oh, thank you so much, DJ 215. Shout out to you. Be sure to book him for any and all of your musical needs. Just go to dj215.com and there he shall be. If you're on social media, go ahead and follow him. Go ahead to SoundCloud and check out all of his mixes. You are listening to Safe Space right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I am none other than the one and only Kayla J, here with you for this election night. Election night. Happy election day to you all. Our political guru, Charles Ellison, will be joining us a little later to talk about the results thus far and what what we can expect out of DA Krasner in this second term. But I am no liar, so let's go ahead to the phone lines. You too can be a caller. 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900. Tyrone, North Philadelphia. Hello, sir. Happy election day.
Peace and blessings, my love. How are you?
Peace and blessings to you. I am doing well, Brother Tyrone.
And you know what? Thank you for that musical mix. Every time you come with it, I feel it. I mean, it touches the essence of who I am. And I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But in answering your question, I was number 6. It was about 8:45.
Okay, not too bad.
It hurt simply because we do so well when we are voting against something. But when we have something to vote for, it doesn't seem to get the same kind of energy, the same kind of push as voting against something. And we got to change that. We got to change that. We had 2 beautiful sisters running for state court. We needed them. We needed, sisters, the Honorable Dumas and the Commonwealth Court. And we sure enough needed our sister Lane in the Superior Court. I mean, we needed them. And folks needed to show up because this is the difference from us voting against something when we have something to vote for. So that's my take. I'm just a little concerned that
as you should be.
Folks didn't see the real need to participate in this election when they know what we got waiting in the wind. They know what they got waiting in the wind. So they should not be passing up nothing. So you know what? I appreciate you, sis, allowing me to share. I want to give a shout out to 332. I mean, I got a chance to shake my head and relish. And it's always good to be around family. I'm just seeing so many folks. Man, my man, Ducky Bird. Ducky, man. And Charles, I told him, and Jordan, he lets the river flow. That brother, Charles Ellison, is the greatest political apparatus that we got in this world today. Appreciate that, brother. So that's my take. I just trust that everyone who had a chance to do it did what they had to do. And those for y'all that set back, please don't set back anymore because it's going to get rough.
That's right. It's going to get wild. Brother Tyrone, thank you so much for calling in and participating and always doing your civic duty and going out to vote. Appreciate you, sir. Going to line 2, Anita from North Philly. Hello, welcome to the show. Happy election day.
Hi, Kayla J. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I did vote today. I was voter number 10, which was a little sad for me because it wasn't early in the morning that I went out and vote. I thought that I would probably be at least voter number 30 by the time I got up and voted. However, you said, what are some things that Krasner can do or do better?
Yes.
I don't know if what I'm going to say fall into his lap, But whoever is falling in, this is what can happen to get the voters out. We are so disappointed in, the turnout this year. And a lot of people are saying, y'all know what's down the pipe. Maybe they don't know what's down the pipe. Some people don't know because we don't know who's running for office. We have no clue who judges are. You were just saying that, we had so many female judges and, the majority of them were African Americans. There are some people that just didn't know that. The other thing that can help us, what I'm saying is that we need to be educated on those matters. Who's running. And please don't wait until the day before or the week before to start telling us who's voting for, who's running for judge, who's running for Congress and all this great stuff. Because if we don't know, if we're not in that know, we don't know. And one more thing, I think that we keep putting those questions on the ballot. Yeah, I believe that they need to make it language friendly for people. It's no secret that we have a lot of illiterate grown folks, okay? Not only children, but grown folks. And so make it language friendly so that someone can understand or that anyone could understand what it is that you're asking them. Something as simple as, do you want Mayor Brown to be in charge of the taxes of your home? Stop with all of that. I shall, and nobody understand what you're saying. Make it language friendly so that the voters could understand. Maybe this is why some voters don't come out. I go stand into the polling booth. I don't know who's running. I don't know why they're running. And here 4 questions, 5 questions. I have no clue what they're asking me. It's a turnoff. It's an embarrassment. So maybe someone could do something about those issues, and maybe we'll get some more people out to vote.
Listen, I completely agree with you. I agree with you. And you have some folks over on social media. Gary says the public needs to be better informed. I completely agree. Shout out to you, Gary. And thank you for listening. Anita, thank you for calling in and sharing your comments. I wholeheartedly agree with you. We need better voter education. As Jasmine Sessoms, if she can win, she said they need to start teaching civics and voting earlier in school. I know for myself that I had civics my last year of high school. So my senior year, 12th grade, that's the first time civics was introduced to me. And whoo, it was a doozy. It was a doozy. Needed tutoring for it because I just didn't understand. And think about it. I was turning 18 and I was getting ready to vote for the first time. And that was the first time I've even heard about what civics was. It's sad. It really is sad. But I agree. We need better voter education out here. Miss Rosalind from Kensington, welcome to the show. Happy Election Day.
Happy Election Day, dedicated producer and my word family. I love y'all.
We
You
love
know,
you
I'm
too.
disabled, but guess what? I'm coming out.
That's
And one
right.
thing I did, I don't know what number I was, but I voted. But one thing I've been voting for 41 years.
Awesome.
And I don't care who and on. I can't read, can't spell that good, but I raised my family and everything else, and they all entrepreneurs and they all vote and everything. You just don't wait till the election come up. You put that stuff out there way before it needs to be taught in school. So if you go to the voting poll, like they used to do back in the day, put an X on it, but now you got everything in computer and you tell somebody to tell you how to do it, that's what you do. I don't care how you got to do. Just vote. Every vote counts.
Just vote. Every vote counts. That's right, Miss Rosalind.
Keep it moving.
Yes.
Damn if you do, you damn if you don't. Education never stops. And I'm still learning. Our ancestors died just so we can vote. To no excuse. Clean up your village. Because I know what they call me in my village, in Kensington. That is so bad. But guess what? They call me mother of the block. So whatever my ancestors put inside me right now, right here, it still exists. Now get your butts out there and teach your children while they're young. And they'll never stray away. All praises due to Allah, God, and Jehovah. It's only one. And
that's right.
The final threat. And that's why I love my WRD thing. Even when I had to cut my own family off, WRD became my new family. And I'm grateful.
And we are grateful for you, Miss Rosalind.
People don't spread it. You on the social media, on the Facebook, you on Twitter. They get ready to change it tomorrow. It used to be MySpace. Let me tell you something. Use it to the advantage to make your village comfortable. Because you don't need no police. You are police. I love you.
I love you too, Ms. Roslyn. Thank you so much for calling in. Of course, thank you for doing your civic duty and voting. I appreciate you and your comments and your words and your passion that you always bring. Listen, I want to hear from you all. 215-634-8065 or toll free 1-866-361-0900. Did you vote today? What number were you? I was number 9. We've heard some people say they was number 7. Some people say they was number 10. Low turnout so far, low turnout. But if you are in line right now, know that they have to let you vote. If you're in Montgomery County, you have an extra hour. So come on, everybody. Let's get out and vote. Question on the table. It looks like D.A. Krasner is going to get a second term. What would you like to see him do differently? Going back to the phone lines, Gary from Southwest Philly. Hello, welcome to the show. Happy Election Day to you, sir.
Hey, same to you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, Kayla, I voted today, and I've been voting for 40-some years. Since I turned 18, I never missed a vote. And voting is extremely important. But one thing you had talked about earlier, I read those questions, and I understood what they meant. But the wording, the verbiage they have, they need to make those questions easier for people to understand. You know, even if someone has a college degree, some of those questions are really posed so confusing. You know, some people are not really sure what they're saying, and I think they can make it much simpler for everybody if they, you know, changed the way they worded those questions. And going forward, I look at our Democratic Party, and you know, I think they have to. Not I think they have to step up their game.
Yeah,
they come out and engage with the public, not only when it's time to vote, but we need to see them in the public, and we need to see them making changes that are going to be positive for our community, especially the Black community, our schools, neighborhoods, jobs. I mean, it's always the Republicans are the bad guy, the Democrats are the good guys. But in my opinion, we're being taken advantage of, and we're being grossly, and I mean grossly underserved. Those politicians should be, Black politicians in particular, should be out in the community, engaging with the community and having conversations about improving our conditions in the city. And I don't see that really being done. We only see them when it's time to vote, and that's it. And then they wonder why there's not a high voter turnout. Also, let's go back. When I was in school, we had civics in school. We couldn't wait to vote. That's why when I turned 18, boom, I was right there, and I've never, ever missed a vote.
That's
These young people aren't being taught that and not being trained that it's necessary. Voting is not the end all. One of the things that we don't do, we don't hold these elected officials accountable to the level that we should. Thank you.
Yep. Gary, I agree with you. I know that's something that Maurice always talks about. Of course, George from Center City, holding our elected officials accountable. That's something definitely that we need to start doing more. Again, Gary from Southwest Philly, thank you so much for your call and bringing back that point of the questions. Yes, I see Anita here on social media on Facebook. She says, yes, language is difficult for some people. I believe it was Anita who called in that said, you know, they have all these big words, the will of the homeroom charter. Listen, it sounds like we reading the King James Bible over there. I just need the ESV version, the NIV version, the common English version. Please ask the question. Do you or do you not want marijuana legalized? That's all I want to know. That's what question 1 was saying, by the way, y'all. Should they legalize marijuana for recreational use? That's what they were asking. You know, we just need some plain and simpleness. Shalada is over here on Facebook saying, I voted by mail and it was received and counted in October. That's awesome. Do we have anybody else out there that voted by mail? I want to know how did that go for you? Did you get your email that said they got your ballot, that it was counted? We have a lot of elections going right now. Of course, Philadelphia County is where WURD is. We want to hear from you, Philly. But do we have any listeners in Bucks County? Do we have any listeners in Montgomery County? We got any Jersey folk out there listening right now in Pittsburgh, in Ohio, and all the other places that had elections on today. Call in. Let us know how your election day is going. What happened out there? How's the turnout out there? You know, what's the momentum looking like? What's the momentum? Because so far in Philadelphia, the momentum is low. The momentum is low, and I'm really sad about that. I'm really sad about that because we complain a lot. I'm gonna be honest. We complain a lot in Philly. We do. I love y'all. I'm a Philadelphian through and through, but we complain a lot. And we complain that our elected officials aren't doing nothing, and to some extent, they can do more. However, when the election rolls around in November, when the election rolls around in April, we need to be out there voting. That's our part. That's what we can do. We can't complain if we're not doing our part. That's just how I feel. And to some of you that say that I can say what I want to say, go ahead, say what you want to say, baby. But just know the question is, did you do your part? You complaining, but what did you do? What did you do? Nothing? Then be quiet. Just gonna have several seats. All right. Have several seats. 215-634-8065. Toll free 1-866-361-0900. Gloria from Sharon Hill is on the line. Hello, welcome to the show. Happy election day.
Hey, Miss Kayla J, how are you?
I'm doing good, Miss Gloria. How about yourself?
I'm okay. I was off today. I was 190 in line. 190.
That's amazing.
Township, Sharon Hill. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And now people are definitely coming. When I left out of there, the 194 person was coming in. So,
wow.
I mean, the lines were actually curving.
Wow. See, that's I'm happy to hear that. Out in Sharon Hill. What county is that? Is that Delaware Valley County?
Delaware County, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. So what are the big races out there in Delaware County? The judges and what else, Miss Gloria?
The judges and you see what else? Judges and the city council and registration of wills, things like that. Yeah, Southeast Delta School District, things like that is going on.
Wow. So really big election over there in Sharon Hill. Miss Gloria, thank you so much for calling. Thank you for letting me know you were 190. Come on here in the line. I appreciate you so much, ma'am. And thank you for listening to the show.
You're welcome, baby. Have a blessed night.
You too. Come on. Anybody else out there in Bucks County, Montgomery County, Delaware County, Del Valle County? Let us know what number were you in line. I'm super excited to hear that she was 190. That makes my heart glad. Okay, that makes my heart so glad. 215-634-8065. Toll free 1-866-361-0900. To those who are listening in from Philadelphia, my question to you: when D.A. Krasner wins this second term, what would you like to see differently? What would you like to see differently? We're getting ready to go to a commercial break, but I have to let you know this. Word fam, now is the time to join the movement. As the only Black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania and one of only a few in the nation, is most important now than ever to have a place where we can speak and be heard in our own voice. We can do that with your help. Visit wordradio.com or call 215-425-7875 to join or renew your full Word membership. Become a Word member today. It is the most elite club you will ever belong to. All right. I'm Kayla J. You're listening to Safe Space right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We will be right back after this commercial break.
This is the city where it all began. The pursuit of happiness. A city that knows how to play. A city that's in it for the win. So I go to the place that lives for that. Where they know how Philly loves to play. And where I know my seat is always ready. This is my place. Rivers Casino Philadelphia. Because Philly loves a winner.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Build skills needed for employment through the Philadelphia Skills Forward Initiative, a free upskilling program for workers displaced by the pandemic, those whose jobs are at risk for automation, and Black and brown workers. Complete courses focused on digital literacy, career management, and professional skills for a successful career. Get started today at chamberphl.com.
Word Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. From now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com each week to find information on upcoming Give Back events in Philadelphia. We'll feature organizations hosting free food and clothing giveaways, workshops, and more. This is the season of giving back, and Word Radio will make sure you have a seat at the table. For more information, visit wordradio.com. Stand with Word Radio, the only Black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania. Did you know you can join the Forward movement and amplify voices of the Black community as a digital member for as low as $5 per month? Visit membership at wordradio.com or call 215-425-7875. We need you. Show your support. Start or renew your Forward membership today. Save Space on Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
People say, Tim, yo, you're my hero. How you do it? How you stay strong? Let them all know there's so much that I've been through. I have my days when it's true, y'all. I just can't smile. I just wanna cry. It ain't easy. Sometimes it's work just to be alive. But when I think of the goodness that's come to me, it's easier to let go of all my grief. Sometimes you gotta tell yourself that I'm not having it. Just take a good look in the mirror, say to yourself, I've come to fight and quit. So say I'm good, good enough to love myself, so good enough to have success. What you gain from all your stress is the freedom to know that you are blessed. I'm good, good enough to handle my bills, so good enough to raise my kids. Past is the best, and honestly, I'm happy for where I'm at because I'm good. You don't ask me, am I confident?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Tim Bowman Jr. right here on Safe Space WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I am none other than the one and only Kayla J here with you for election night. It is election night. It is 8:27 over here on the East Coast, which means the polls are officially closed in Philadelphia. But if you are one of those lucky 4 locations in Bucks County, you still have about 30 minutes to get to the polls and cast your ballot. And for those of you that are saying, what? Bucks County had some trouble with their voter machines earlier this morning, so they were delayed an hour from opening. So instead of opening at 7 o'clock, they opened at 8 p.m. So they are giving the people an extra hour to cast their votes. I think that's good on them. In this half hour, we will be joined by Reality Check's Charles Ellison to talk about the results as they come in and what this could mean for Philadelphia. But before we go to Charles, I want to hear from you. 215-634-8065, toll free 1-866-361-0900. Please let me know, how was your election day? Ted, West Philly, hello and welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Word Family. How are you?
Good. Happy election day to you, Ted.
Happy election day to you as well.
Thank you.
I'm happy to hear the excitement in your voice about the election day. I'm actually a poll worker out of West Philly.
Awesome. How's it looking out there?
Well, as you know, we just closed the polls at 8 p.m. We had 438 people registered to vote on our roll just in our division. Guess how many came out?
So everybody that was registered came out and voted?
No. We had 438 people on roll. 49 showed up.
Oh no. Oh, we got to do better. What Ted, being a poll worker, what was maybe the most thing that you heard? What do you think we can do better to get more folks out at the poll?
I I think it's getting encouraging people to get out, understanding the power of voting, understanding the power in numbers in voting. I think getting people encouraged and not just your average people who always vote. We're not getting people young. I think we're waiting a little when it's a little too late to attempt to get people to come out and vote and or to enjoy the voting process. I think access to polling as well. As a poll worker, I see a number of polling locations that switch constantly, and that's not good because it confuses people. I see a lot of times a lot of people come in and they come to the wrong polling place, and unfortunately they get frustrated and then they just give up and don't want to go to the third or fourth place because people keep sending them all the way all around the community to different polling places. I think there's a multitude of things that I think can help when it comes to getting people to come out to vote.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Definitely with making sure that people know exactly where their polling place is, because where I voted today was not the place I voted last time. And it does change. I know that some places had to change because of the pandemic. And it is disheartening when you get to your polling place. Even this morning I had a few mishap. I went to my polling place and they sent me to about 4 or 5 tables before I got to my table. So I understand where that can be disheartening, where I just had to go around the room. Some people had to leave and go to a different building. So I hear you, man. I hear you. Anything else about what you saw as a poll worker out in West Philly today?
I not just a poll worker, but just the climate in Philly in general. I think I think we need some more younger people, more young involvement. It's time to get some people who can think outside the box. And not saying that people aren't, but I would like to see more younger people who have a different outlook and what's going on in life and on the streets and the community these days, because they, to me, would be the best help. So all I ask is the older generation, our elders, if you see a young person who wants to try to do anything to assist with politics, to assist with community leadership, to assist and be part of the growth and development of our community, take them in, teach them. Please stop holding on to all the information and not passing it out to the next generation. We need that information so we won't continue to have the same mistakes, and we can learn and build from. So all I'm asking is that, the young people get involved and the older people make sure that they do get involved.
Listen, Ted, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your experience as a poll worker today. I appreciate you, man. And I thank you for being out there and working those polls. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Have a good evening.
You too. You too. I see a few of you commenting on social media. You can go to Facebook Live and type your comments there. If you do not have Facebook and you want to hit me up, please feel free at Kayla J _music nerd. That's KALAJ _music nerd. And I will be sure to check my Twitter, check my Instagram, and all of those other social media pages where you may be commenting. Gary, he says, to all the word listeners and general public, if you do not vote, then you do not count. Let that sink in. Please don't complain if you don't vote. Plain and simple. We are the change we've been waiting for. So let's get busy and make that change. I agree with you, Gary. 100%. 100%. Charles Charles Evans over on Facebook says, my polling place was empty today. Sad. Listen, I'm right there sad with you. When I went into my polling place today, it was a little bit empty. By the time I left, I spent an hour in my polling place today just talking to members of the community that was out there working the polls, because I wanted to know, just check in on my neighbors and check in on what people have been up to, and just trying to help them figure out what we can do for our community. Because we were sad that I was number 9. It was 10 o'clock and I was number 9. That was a problem. So I'm hoping that after I left and I started rallying some people and I started posting on social media, my hope and my prayer is that people got out there. Listening to Ted and looking at Charles, it looked like some people did not get out to vote. I'm really sad about that. I'm really sad about that. We have to do better, Philly. We have to do better, Pennsylvania. We have to do better, nation, when it comes to voting in general. And here to help me close out the night, he is the political guru, my favorite analyst, Mr. Charles Ellison of our very own Reality Check. Hello, Charles. Welcome to Safe Space, and thanks for coming on this election night.
Kayla, what's good? Good evening to you. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming.
All
I
right.
know you were out at Relish today. How did the
Right.
momentum look out there?
Well, it's relish, right? And so I get the feeling like it's not so much about, sort of what's happening on the electoral landscape. It's not what's happening at the polls. The fact that there's not high turnout during what is still a consequential election, but they're looking at it as an off-cycle election. That sort of gathering of politicos, of folks at the grass tops, of influencers and elected officials, they're going to do what they do. And so, the mood there was fairly relaxed. And I suspect it's because the folks who were in presence there at a place like Relish, for the time being, their jobs are secure. And so, and they're not thinking about, that's what kind of struck me, was the sort of relax, and definitely appreciate the fact that they have this tradition at Relish, that they're having, each election cycle, that they have this gathering of elected officials and folks of political note in a place like Philadelphia. I think that that's always necessary for people to come and unify. But we're going through some very urgent times.
Yeah, we are.
We're going through very urgent times in Philadelphia. We're going through very urgent times nationwide. We're going through very urgent times as a planet. And it's just I could sense that from the brother who was just on with you before I came on, Ted, the poll worker. And I really appreciated the energy in his voice. It was very somber, but it was a sense of urgency. Like, we really have to get people activated and mobilized. I did not get that kind of vibe, from that very esteemed set of luminaries that were gathering there at Relish. I didn't get that. I just got like, oh, hey, this is just business as usual, another election cycle. Oh, this is kind of off cycle anyway. It's not as important as the presidential election that took place. Every election is important. We spend, especially our community, our core community is Black folks who listen to WURD. We all know we spend an inordinate amount of time. We waste so much time. We waste so much money. We waste so much energy and tears and sweat and angst in court systems. So you would think that the set of elections that we're getting activated on, that we're mobilized about, that we're being real serious about, are judicial elections for, not just for DA. Obviously, DA Larry Krasner had a very competitive primary in May, so he kind of just skated into re-election here in this general election. But we had we had races for Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Pennsylvania Superior Court, Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court, Pennsylvania Court of Common Pleas, Philadelphia Municipal Court, judges who were being who were being looked at for their performance and letting voters decide if they should be retained. But we don't know who these judges are. We don't know their records, but we know that we're dealing with a very biased, racist court system every day. Every day we deal with it. Our family members deal with it on so many different levels. And so, you would think that folks of the elected class in Philadelphia would particularly Black elected officials, would be finding ways to strike a sense of urgency, to strike a much more urgent tone with residents in Philadelphia. But I did not get that sense from Relish. I didn't get that kind of that kind of energy from Relish. I did not get this was mostly Democrats here gathered at Relish. I did not get the sense that they were also treating this as a run-up or as an energetic dress rehearsal to 2022 next year, right? So, because 2022 next year with congressional midterms, U.S. House, U.S. Senate races, we got a big U.S. Senate race in Pennsylvania, right?
Very big.
Governor's race in Pennsylvania is going to be happening.
Yeah.
The Democrats, if they compete, if they really are serious, they could retake the state house and the state Senate in Harrisburg. So we stop complaining about a whole bunch of things that Republicans in Harrisburg do. Okay, we'll retake, gear up, get to planning, get mobilized, and retake the House and the Senate. So you're not constantly giving us excuses about what you can't do for Philly because Republicans are blocking everything. Okay, well, tell us what you need us to do to help you compete. And then not on top of that, we've got national level elections. We got governor's races all over the place, state legislative races, and then Democrats have got to hold on to or expand a very razor thin margin of majority in the U.S. Congress, in the House and the Senate. Let me tell you, Caleb, this is how serious 2022 is, and more serious than 2020. If Democrats lose their majorities in the House and the Senate, Republicans are definitely going to impeach President Biden. They've already said that. They will then activate another coup, just like they did on January 6th. This is serious stuff. And I don't get the feeling that there are people out there who are in positions of influence, or the ones who are mapping out these political strategies and or who get paid very well, or they pay consultants and other strategists very well to mobilize people and to get people voting. I don't think they take this thing serious. They think it's all a game. It's just a game. And I know to you it's not. I know to Ted, who just called, and he's very much right. We need more young people working at the polls.
Yeah, we do.
On average, Kayla, 65 to 70% of people who work at polls in the United States are over the age of 60.
Wow.
Okay, over the age of 60. But you can if you're 18 or over, you can work at a polling place and you can get paid for that day, and you can learn a very valuable skill set. You can learn how to officiate an election or officiate a polling place. I mean, it's a great resume booster, if that. I mean, you won't just get paid for the day, you get some very invaluable experience. And also you can create an invaluable network and references that can help you get an even better job. Or maybe if you want to get involved in the field of politics and public policy, that's a great place to start. I don't understand why Philadelphia is not encouraging more of that, or any other place for that matter. It's not Philadelphia. It's not just a problem in Philadelphia. It's a problem everywhere. And why we aren't encouraging that, but then we want to complain about young people being apathetic and unengaged. And I agree with Ted. Stop holding information back. Stop doing that. Stop griping about young people this and young people that. Young people young people are much smarter than we give them credit for. And but they also know when they're being swindled. And as adults, as older generations, we have we have a lot of work to do, to really get young people more involved. And so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant, Kayla, but it's a very disappointing evening. You know how I am about this.
Yeah, no, listen, I appreciate the passion. There was no rant, because you are getting a lot of amens in our virtual corner over here on Word TV. Lily, Miss Roslyn, Gary, they're all agreeing with you, Charles. And we need to be educated. But before you got on early in the show, we were just talking about voter education in general, and how there seems to be a lack of it, especially in our school systems. There's so much that parents can do and teach. Yes, we can take them to the polls, we can tell them why it's important, but there aren't many places where we can send our young people to learn about what this is. And not just young people, everybody, because we have questions on the ballot each time. We have candidates who we don't know who they are. There's just a lack of voter education, and I think because of the lack of voter education, there tends to be a lack of a turnout.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. That is partly the reason why we see this low voter turnout. We have 1.6 million residents in Philadelphia. Nearly 1.1 million of those residents, 70% plus of the Philadelphia residential population, is registered to vote, Kayla. Is registered to vote. So I would expect, if we got 1.1 million people in the city of Philadelphia registered to vote, well, 1.1 million people should be showing up at the polls today.
But
why is it consistently that Philadelphia has a voter turnout scale that's on average 25 to 30% turnout? That means we're just letting anywhere from 10 to 15% of the residential population make decisions for the rest of us. That makes absolutely no sense. That's insanity. And you know what that also is? It's a textbook definition of an oligarchy. These same things that we pile on about, or we complain about, or we laugh at, like places like Russia, where they have an elite few of people who run things, that's the exact same thing that's happening in Philadelphia. And people should be ashamed of themselves to accept that as a standard, or accept that as just the usual way of doing things at the status quo in Philadelphia. But you're absolutely right. Voter education or civics, we need to reintroduce that aggressively. And the fact that you have so few people turning out and so few young people engaged, so few adults engaged, it's an epic failure of the system, of the government, of our school system. Who's not figuring out ways to like better engage the public and get young people activated. And the thing about this is too, so there are going to be elected officials out there who grumble or who privately think that, well, I don't want a whole lot of people turning out because I want to make sure that I get reelected.
Mm-hmm.
This actually helps them out.
Yeah,
it makes their job easier when you have an engaged electorate and an electorate that partners up with you to help you get things done. And there are some elected officials who do get that, but there are other elected officials who really do think that this is nothing more than a professional resume booster. That it's a game. It's a game. It's a game. It's a horse race. And that sort of mindset has got to stop, particularly when we're talking about a Black community as distressed as the one that's in Philadelphia, that really needs heroes, that needs people to step up and rise to the occasion. That's not happening. I didn't really see a whole lot of political or electoral or or public heroics of the type that I really want to see at Relish today. I didn't. I just saw. I come from this business. I was cut in public affairs and political strategy work. I just saw, just business as usual in the political practitioner space. We can't afford to act like everything's okay. It's not. Things are quickly deteriorating in places like Philadelphia and elsewhere. We had a race, a really serious election that was going on, a governor's race in Virginia.
Yes.
Which is where my grandmother and her and my mother's family's from, and before she migrated to Philly years ago in that great exodus of Black folks to the north. And I even remember as a kid when they were wrapping up segregation, how bad it was down there. I mean, they're on the cusp of electing a Republican candidate who said he was very comfortable with going back to the way things were 56 years ago. And how Democrats squandered that opportunity to to basically be able to counter that, to counter this fake movement called critical race theory. How they couldn't counter all that, how they couldn't just simply counter that by saying, hey, listen, this fool is trying to take us back to the days that our grandparents, that our aunties and uncles lived in, who are still living today. It's just it's just a spectacular epic fail in getting people energized and getting people motivated to counter what are really none other than white nationalists and Confederates, 21st century Confederates. I don't understand it. I don't understand. Democrats just failing across the board. That race should not have been tight. The race across the bridge in New Jersey, that gubernatorial race, that should not be tight. We should not be talking about, Democrats should not be talking about tight races against white nationalists and domestic terrorists who attacked the nation's capital just 9 months ago. These should not be competitive races, Kayla. But apparently, they're like tight, they're neck and neck. That should not be happening. And apparently it is all across the map. We may be having Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Pennsylvania Superior Court, Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court. I think it was Ryan Boyer from Labor's District Council made a very good point. That was the only court in the country that voted in favor of Trump's challenge of the 2020 election. The only court in the country that did that. How are we not paying attention to to the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court race?
Right.
How are we not paying attention to that? So that's a very good point. So these courts are used as tools to take us back in reverse, to take us back to the way things were, that are the way that our forebears, the people who are still living, the types of things that they lived through. We're getting ready to regress back to that. But it's very easy. I mean, the opportunity, the strategy is very real and very easy. It's all about, it's about voter education, voter mobilization, and people not falling asleep. And a lot of people are falling asleep. Some of that responsibility lies on us too, because there's a lot of folks out there, regular average folks, who are, talking about, well, I don't know why I need to vote. like I did vote in 2020. Like, who said you were supposed to stop? Like, you were supposed to stop. I mean, you got folks in Philadelphia. I don't get it. You got folks in Philadelphia and elsewhere, black folks who are more competitive about their sports teams than they are about participating in elections.
That's right.
It's an ongoing competitive thing. We expect that from professional sports every season, right? We expect the Sixers, we expect the Eagles, we expect the Phillies and the Flyers to stay competitive year after year.
Right.
Especially if they win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh, they better get that Super Bowl next year. So how you expect the same principle not to apply to competitive elections every 6 months? It's the exact same thing.
The exact same thing.
I don't. So we actually put more emphasis on, right? We actually put more stock in professional sports that has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of life in Philadelphia than we do in elections that are free to go to. You have to pay money to go into a professional sports game. You don't have to pay a dime to just simply exercise your right to vote, to participate in the franchise, and compete on a level that really counts. This is the level that really counts.
It does. Charles, I want to pause you there because we don't have much more time. We got about 3 more minutes, so we got to get out of here. The big race in Philly is DA race. Krasner is the incumbent going up against a Republican. Looks like Krasner is going to get it. Our question on today is, what does Krasner need to do different in this second term?
All right, what Krasner has to do in his second term is he's really going to have to strike the balance. He's going to have to understand that people are placing a very high priority on public safety, really at this moment in time over criminal justice reform. He's really going to have to strike that balance. People are very concerned about the deteriorating lack of safety and lack of protection in their neighborhoods. That's what their paramount concern right now. That's not totally DA Larry Krasner's fault. There's low performance from the Philadelphia Police Department. They're barely making arrests of people who are committing murders and people who are also committing these non-fatal shootings. And he needs police to arrest people to transfer over to him so he can prosecute. But he also has to strike a balance between, he's going to have to understand, I don't know if he's done that yet, to understand that right now at this moment in time, Philadelphia residents are prioritizing their safety and the safety of their young people. They're prioritizing the safety of their families. And he's going to have to figure out, he's going to have to establish or strike a much more aggressive tone that sends the signal that he's not tolerating that violence, because I'm afraid that right now, that's not the tone that people are receiving from him. They feel like, oh, he's a reformist. So the impression, I'm not saying he's like this, but the impression right now, or the type of branding that's surrounding Larry Krasner, is that he's not tough on crime. He's going to have to, in his now second term, he's going to have to give the sort of he can still be a progressive prosecutor, but he's also going to have to show, somehow he's going to have to telegraph to the larger public that he can be very aggressive and tough on this violent crime. That's not the sense that people are getting. So he's going to have to strike a balance there. He had that same problem when he was running first for DA back in 2017, but he was able to surmount that. He was able to surmount that in the May primary, right? Against Carlos Vega, who was basically was a Democrat, but he was a MAGA candidate. He really was. He was the FOP MAGA candidate. He was.
Yes,
Trump.
he was.
He was
Yes,
getting his
he
money
was.
from
He
police
was.
union folks. So he was able to dodge that bullet. The whole city of Philadelphia was able to dodge that bullet. Trying not to, no pun intended there. But he's gonna have to really, because people are still not feeling. There's a lot of folks in Philadelphia who are still not confident in his ability to do just that. So we'll see. Maybe he does go into the second term being that kind of district attorney. I'm just saying that's the impression. I know he also, I think it's great that he's placed a lot of emphasis on keeping people out of jail that never had any business being in jail in the first place, right? I think that's great. People being wrongfully accused by unperforming Philadelphia police, and I think he's going to have to tweak his language, tweak some of that messaging a little bit, and establish a new kind of message coming out of that DA's office. So we'll see what happens. I mean, that's what I'm looking for.
We shall see what's going to happen this next term, and I'm excited to see it. Thank you so much, Charles, for coming on and just letting us know what to expect past today. Especially getting us ready for the 2022 election next year. I appreciate it. Charles Ellison of Reality Check, also our word on politics guru. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at
Ellison Report.
At Ellison Report, because I was just like,
no, that's all right. Kelly, it's good seeing you on. This is the first time I've been on with you. It was great seeing you in the host seat. So you're doing a wonderful job. You really are.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you. All right, keep it up.
All right, keep it locked. All right, folks, make sure you tune into Reality Check tomorrow. I know Charles will have more updates for you with the results of the election and his take on what Philly needs to do and what our surrounding counties need to do. Again, there are some major races happening across the nation today. First mayor looked like it's going to be elected in Pittsburgh. We have a really deep race in Virginia, as he stated. We have some deep races in Ohio. We have a city council race in Delaware Valley today. We have a gubernatorial race in New Jersey and a DA race here in Philly. It has been a whirlwind of an election day. So sad that Philadelphia's turnout was not exactly what I expected. However, we got to do better. And however, I believe that the next election, we will do better. We will do better. So promise me, Philly, that we will do better. All right. Before I get out of here, I have to remind you that Word Radio is sharing a harvest for the world from October 11th through December 31st. Visit wordradio.com each week to find information on upcoming give back events in Philly. We will be featuring organizations that will be giving away free food, free clothing, free giveaways, free workshops, and so much more. This is the season of giving back, and Word wants to make sure that you have a seat at the table. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening in tonight to Save Space. I appreciate you all, to every caller, and to my guests, Charles Ellison, Latasha D. Mays, and Jasmine Sessoms. I appreciate all of you. JB, thank you for doing what you do, man, and being behind that board. I am Kayla J, and as I always say, Winnie Winnie Winchy, I came, I saw, and I conquered. So I want you all to go out there and continue to conquer those things that you see, because you, yes, you can do all things through Christ. Peace out.